Birds are a diverse and highly evolved group of vertebrates belonging to the class Aves, characterized by feathers, beaks without teeth, high metabolic rates, and a strong yet lightweight skeletal structure, found in nearly every habitat on Earth. From Arctic tundras to tropical rainforests and open oceans, birds play essential roles in ecosystems as pollinators, seed dispersers, scavengers, and predators. Their ability to fly, though not universal among all species, has enabled remarkable migratory behaviors and ecological adaptability. Birds also exhibit complex social behaviors, vocal communication, and diverse reproductive strategies, making them one of the most studied and ecologically significant animal groups in the natural world. Let's look at several types of birds. Birds of prey, raptors. Birds of prey, or raptors, encompass a diverse group of predatory birds, including eagles, hawks, falcons, owls, vultures, kites, harriers, and ospreys. These birds are characterized by their distinct predatory adaptations and significant ecological roles. Birds of prey possess specialized morphological traits adapted for predation. They have robust, sharply hooked beaks designed for tearing flesh and powerful talons equipped with sharp, curved claws for capturing and killing prey. Falcons exhibit distinctive notched beaks, optimizing rapid kills. Ospreys feature uniquely reversible outer toes for efficient grasping of slippery fish. Additionally, their exceptional visual acuity, supported by forward-facing eyes, enables precise depth perception, crucial for hunting. Owls adapted for nocturnal activity have large eyes densely packed with rod cells for heightened night vision. Feather coloration typically serves camouflage, while owls possess soft-edged feathers facilitating silent flight. Raptors display advanced behavioral adaptations, particularly in hunting strategies and territorial dynamics. Falcons utilize high-speed aerial dives, known as stooping, while hawks typically employ ambush techniques, hunting from concealed perches. Owls engage in stealthy nocturnal hunting. Ospreys exhibit hovering behaviors above water surfaces, plunging to catch fish. Vultures, primarily scavengers, locate carcasses visually or through keen olfactory senses and often feed communally. Raptors are territorial, particularly during breeding seasons, frequently performing elaborate aerial displays for territory defense and mate attraction. Parental investment is extensive, with both parents involved in nest building and offspring care. Raptors fulfill critical ecological functions as apex predators or scavengers. Eagles, hawks, and falcons regulate populations of prey species, thus maintaining ecological balance. Vultures significantly reduce disease transmission by swiftly removing carcasses. Raptors occupy diverse habitats, ranging from forests and mountains to deserts and wetlands, underscoring their ecological adaptability. Their sensitivity to environmental contaminants positions them as valuable bioindicators of ecosystem health, with population declines often signaling broader environmental disturbances. The physiology of raptors supports their predatory lifestyle. They possess highly efficient digestive systems capable of processing bones and fur, with indigestible materials regurgitated as pellets. Their respiratory and cardiovascular systems are exceptionally efficient, supporting high-energy demands during hunting. Dense feathering aids thermoregulation, providing insulation in colder environments or aiding heat dissipation in warmer regions. Vultures notably possess bald heads, facilitating hygiene when feeding on carrion and aiding thermoregulation. Advancements in genetic and molecular biology have significantly refined the understanding of raptor taxonomy and evolutionary relationships. DNA sequencing has clarified that falcons are genetically closer to parrots than to hawks and eagles, reshaping traditional classifications. Population genetics provide insights into species diversity, migration patterns, and breeding behaviors essential for effective conservation management. Genetic markers are invaluable tools for monitoring population health and dynamics. Flight remains central to the ecological roles of birds of prey, with varying adaptations reflecting their hunting methods. Eagles and vultures have broad wings for soaring, conserving energy while surveying large areas. Falcons exhibit long, pointed wings, optimized for rapid, high-speed dives. Hawks and harriers possess moderate wingspans, facilitating maneuverability through dense habitats. Owls have specialized wing fringes that enable nearly silent flight, enhancing their nocturnal hunting effectiveness. Ospreys' wing morphology is adapted specifically for hovering and agile diving. Notably, all raptor species retain strong flight capabilities, emphasizing flight's evolutionary importance within this avian group. Birds of prey exhibit remarkable morphological, behavioral, ecological, physiological, genetic, and flight adaptations that collectively enhance their predatory effectiveness and ecological significance. Their preservation is crucial, as their population health reflects broader environmental integrity, underscoring their value both ecologically and scientifically. Waterfowl birds. Waterfowl birds comprise a diverse group predominantly adapted to aquatic environments, including ducks, geese, and swans. These birds exhibit a range of specialized traits that facilitate their aquatic lifestyles. Types of waterfowl birds. Ducks, e.g. mallard, wood duck, teal, pintail. Geese, e.g. Canada goose, snow goose, greylag goose. Swans, e.g. mute swan, trumpeter swan, tundra swan. Waterfowl have evolved several distinct morphological characteristics. They possess broad, flat bills designed for filtering food from water. Bills often feature lamellae, tiny comb-like structures aiding in filtering food items. Their webbed feet facilitate swimming, paddling efficiency, and maneuverability in water. Plumage is dense and water repellent due to specialized oil glands at the base of their tails, uropygial glands, which coat feathers for buoyancy and waterproofing. Neck lengths vary significantly, with swans displaying notably elongated necks, ideal for feeding underwater vegetation. Behavioral adaptations of waterfowl center around aquatic environments. Ducks commonly engage in dabbling, feeding at water surfaces, or diving behaviors to capture prey or forage underwater vegetation. Geese are primarily grazers, feeding on grasslands adjacent to water bodies. Swans typically feed by dipping their heads and long necks underwater to access submerged vegetation. Waterfowl exhibit pronounced social behaviors, often congregating in large flocks, especially during migratory periods and breeding seasons. Complex vocalizations and visual displays play crucial roles in mate selection and territorial defense. Waterfowl play pivotal ecological roles within their habitats. As herbivores and omnivores, they influence aquatic vegetation dynamics and nutrient cycling in wetlands and lakes. Ducks and geese assist in seed dispersal and plant propagation through their feeding behaviors and migration patterns. Predation by waterfowl also helps control populations of aquatic insects, crustaceans, and small fish. Their migration contributes significantly to ecosystem connectivity, transporting nutrients and organic matter across geographical regions. Physiologically, waterfowl exhibit unique adaptations supporting their aquatic lifestyle. Their bodies possess efficient circulatory and respiratory systems that facilitate oxygen uptake during extended dives. Enhanced thermoregulation via dense plumage and specialized fat deposits enables survival in diverse climatic conditions, including cold and temperate regions. Migratory waterfowl exhibit advanced metabolic adaptations that sustain long-distance flights, involving significant energy storage and utilization strategies. Recent genetic studies have significantly enhanced understanding of waterfowl diversity and evolution. DNA sequencing has clarified relationships among various waterfowl species, enabling accurate classification and improved conservation strategies. Genetic markers are instrumental in tracing migratory routes, understanding population dynamics, and identifying genetic diversity critical for species resilience. Molecular data has highlighted adaptive genetic traits specific to aquatic lifestyles, such as genes involved in buoyancy, thermal insulation, and diving capacities. Flight is central to waterfowl ecology, influencing their behavior, migration, and survival strategies. Ducks generally possess strong, rapid wing beats, allowing swift, agile flight suitable for escaping predators and traveling substantial migration distances. Geese and swans have broader wings designed for sustained, energy-efficient flight over extensive migratory journeys. Flight capability among waterfowl varies depending on habitat needs and lifestyle. For instance, diving ducks may have shorter, stronger wings optimized for underwater propulsion. Despite variations, virtually all waterfowl retain robust flight capacities essential for survival, migration, and reproduction. Waterfowl demonstrate remarkable adaptability through specialized morphological, behavioral, ecological, physiological, genetic, and flight characteristics. Their adaptations are finely tuned to aquatic habitats, underscoring their importance in ecosystem dynamics and biodiversity. Continued research and conservation efforts are crucial to maintaining healthy populations and preserving their essential ecological roles. Wading birds. Wading birds are specialized birds adapted primarily to feeding and living in shallow aquatic environments. This diverse grouping includes herons, egrets, storks, cranes, spoonbills, and ibisses. Types of wading birds, herons, and egrets, e.g., great blue heron, snowy egret, black-crowned night heron. Storks, e.g., wood stork, white stork, marabou stork. Cranes, and e.g., sandhill crane, whooping crane. Ibises and spoonbills, e.g., roseate spoonbill white ibis. Morphological features. Wading birds exhibit unique morphological traits adapted for life in shallow water. They possess exceptionally long legs, facilitating wading and feeding in aquatic habitats. Their elongated necks enable them to reach prey effectively, while specialized beak shapes vary considerably based on feeding habits. Pointed bills in herons for spearing fish, curved bills in ibises for probing mud, and flattened, spoon-shaped bills in spoonbills for filtering small aquatic organisms. Plumage coloration varies from cryptic colors in herons and storks to vibrant colors in spoonbills and ibises, often playing roles in mating displays. Wading birds employ diverse strategies for capturing prey. Herons and egrets typically exhibit patient stalking behaviors, quietly wading through shallow waters and swiftly capturing prey. Ibises and spoonbills utilize tactile feeding methods, probing or sweeping their bills through water and mud to detect prey. Cranes primarily forage in terrestrial as well as wetland environments, feeding on seeds, insects, and small animals. Most wading birds exhibit complex social behaviors, often nesting colonially in large rookeries, enhancing protection from predators. Wading birds are vital components of wetland ecosystems, playing essential roles in regulating populations of fish, amphibians, insects, and crustaceans. Their feeding activities significantly influence prey distribution, abundance, and ecosystem nutrient cycling. Wading birds also contribute to the dispersion of aquatic plants and animals through their feeding and migration patterns, acting as ecosystem connectors between distant wetlands and other habitats. Wading birds demonstrate adaptations supporting their semi-aquatic lifestyles. They exhibit efficient thermoregulation strategies, with long legs acting as heat regulators in varying temperatures. Their circulatory and respiratory systems are adapted for extensive periods of standing and stalking, with efficient oxygen utilization supporting sudden bursts of activity required for capturing prey. Metabolic adaptations allow them to efficiently utilize energy during long-distance migrations. Modern genetic and molecular research has advanced understanding of wading bird relationships and evolutionary adaptations. DNA sequencing has clarified evolutionary relationships among herons, storks, cranes, ibises, and spoonbills, enhancing taxonomic accuracy. Genetic markers assist in studying population dynamics, breeding behaviors, and migratory patterns. Molecular studies have revealed genetic traits specifically adapted to their unique feeding and habitat requirements, such as genes involved in limb and beak development. Wading birds generally possess strong flight capabilities essential for their migratory lifestyles and habitat exploitation. Their wing morphology typically involves broad wings optimized for sustained long-distance flight, particularly among cranes and storks. Herons and egrets exhibit broad, rounded wings for short flights and maneuverability within dense vegetation. Spoonbills and ibises possess powerful rhythmic wing beats, suitable for long-distance migration and regular commuting between feeding and nesting areas. Flight capabilities in wading birds reflect their diverse ecological roles and adaptations to varied wetland environments. Wading birds demonstrate remarkable specialization through morphological, behavioral, ecological, physiological, genetic, and flight adaptations uniquely suited to their aquatic habitats. Their ecological significance in maintaining healthy wetland ecosystems underscores the necessity for ongoing conservation efforts to preserve these critical avian species and their habitats. Songbirds, scientifically referred to as passerines, represent the largest and most diverse avian group, encompassing species renowned for their melodious vocalizations. This extensive group includes sparrows, warblers, finches, thrushes, robins, and many others. Types of songbirds: sparrows, e.g. house sparrow, song sparrow; warblers, e.g. yellow warbler, common yellow throat; finches, e.g. American goldfinch, house finch; thrushes, e.g. American robin, wood thrush; swallows, e.g. barn swallow, tree swallow. Songbirds typically display small to medium-sized bodies with varying plumage colors and patterns, often exhibiting sexual dimorphism. They have slender, pointed beaks, adapted for diverse diets, including seeds, insects, fruits, and nectar. Their feet are adapted for perching, with 3 forward-facing toes and 1 backward-facing toe, a lanisodactyl arrangement, facilitating strong grasping abilities on branches and vegetation. Plumage often provides camouflage, although bright colors in some species are used for mated attraction and territorial displays. Passerines are characterized by complex and melodious vocalizations, primarily used in mating displays, territorial defense, and social communication. Many species exhibit intricate and varied song patterns, unique to their species or populations. Songbirds also demonstrate sophisticated nesting behaviors, constructing well-camouflaged nests using diverse materials, strategically located to avoid predators. Social interaction range from solitary and territorial behaviors to communal roosting and flocking, especially outside the breeding season. Songbirds play critical roles in ecosystem dynamics, particularly in pest control and seed dispersal. Insectivorous passerines significantly regulate insect populations, thus aiding agricultural productivity and forest health. Frugivorous songbirds facilitate seed dispersal, contributing to forest regeneration and plant biodiversity. Nectar-feeding passerines, such as sunbirds, play roles in pollination, influencing plant reproduction and ecosystem stability. Songbirds possess highly efficient respiratory and cardiovascular systems, essential for sustained activity and energetic vocalizations. Passerines have high metabolic rates, which support their energetic behaviors and demanding reproductive activities. Physiological adaptations also include seasonal metabolic adjustments that facilitate migration and survival under varying environmental conditions. Genetic sequencing has clarified relationships among passerine groups, aiding taxonomy and evolutionary research. Studies of vocal learning genes have provided insights here into the neurological mechanisms underpinning complex vocal behaviors in songbirds, offering parallels to human speech development. Genetic markers have facilitated studies of migration patterns, population dynamics, and conservation genetics, significantly enhancing conservation strategies. Songbirds possess highly developed flight capabilities, characterized by agility, maneuverability, and endurance. Their wing structures typically feature relatively short, rounded wings for rapid, agile flight through dense vegetation, suitable for avoiding predators and efficient foraging. Some passerines undertake extensive migrations, demonstrating remarkable endurance and navigational abilities supported by physiological adaptations, such as increased fat storage and muscle efficiency. Flight behaviors range from short-distance hopping flights among branches to extensive long-distance migrations traversing continents. Songbirds exemplify significant avian diversity, displaying specialized morphological, behavioral, ecological, physiological, genetic, and flight adaptations. Their importance in ecosystems through pest control, seed dispersal, and pollination highlights their integral ecological roles. Continued research and conservation initiatives are essential to preserve songbird populations and their vital contributions to global biodiversity. Seabirds represent a diverse taxonomic grouping that spans several avian families. They spend the majority of their lives in marine environments, relying on oceanic resources for sustenance, and often breeding in coastal or insular colonies. Their life histories, feeding strategies, and morphological traits reflect their adaptations to pelagic lifestyles. Seabirds are vital components of marine ecosystems, acting as predators, scavengers, and nutrient transporters. They also serve as environmental indicators, signaling changes in ocean health and climate variability. Representative seabird. Species: wandering albatross, black-browed albatross, northern fulmar, Manx shearwater, herring gull, Arctic tern, Atlantic puffin, common murre, brown pelican, blue-footed booby, great cormorant, European shag, emperor penguin, little blue penguin. Seabirds exhibit distinct morphological traits finely tuned for oceanic life. A hallmark feature is their variation in wing morphology, which reflects their differing flight behaviors and foraging strategies. Species that travel long distances, such as albatrosses, possess long, narrow wings adapted for dynamic soaring, while pursuit diving species like puffins and murres have short, powerful wings suitable for underwater propulsion. The bills of seabirds are equally diverse and specialized. Some species have strong, hooked beaks for gripping fish or squid, while others have slender or pointed bills for plunge diving. Salt glands located above the beak allow seabirds to excrete excess salt ingested from seawater, a critical adaptation for marine life. Webbed feet are typical, aiding in swimming and maneuvering on the water's surface. In penguins, wings have evolved into flippers, demonstrating complete morphological commitment to an aquatic lifestyle. Plumage across seabird species is often dense and waterproof, providing insulation and buoyancy, especially in cold water species. Seabirds exhibit a wide array of behaviors that optimize survival in harsh marine environments. Many engage in long-distance migrations, with some traveling thousands of kilometers between breeding and foraging sites. Navigation is accomplished through a combination of celestial cues, geomagnetic fields, and olfactory sensors. Feeding behaviors vary extensively. Some species dive from the air to capture prey, others feed while swimming or seize food from the surface. Many species are opportunistic, switching feeding methods depending on prey availability and oceanographic conditions. Breeding behaviors are often synchronized with resource abundance. Seabirds tend to be colonial nesters, forming dense breeding aggregations that offer protection and increase foraging efficiency through information sharing. Pair bonding and cooperative chick rearing are common, with both parents typically involved in incubation and feeding duties. Territorial aggression is seen during the breeding season, particularly among ground nesting species. Vocalizations, body displays, and ritualized combat are used to defend nest sites and mates. Ecologically, seabirds occupy upper trophic levels and play pivotal roles in the transfer of marine nutrients to terrestrial environments. Their diet consists largely of fish, squid, and crustaceans, placing them as apex or mesopredators in oceanic food webs. Through guano deposition, seabirds enrich island soils with nitrogen and phosphorus, supporting terrestrial plant growth and influencing island ecology. Seabirds often interact ecologically with marine mammals, fish schools, and human fisheries. These interactions can be mutualistic, such as following whales to feed on disturbed prey, or competitive, particularly where overfishing depletes critical food sources. As bioindicators, seabirds reflect the state of the marine environment. Changes in reproductive success, migration patterns, and population dynamics can signal shifts in ocean productivity, pollution levels, or climate-related phenomena such as sea surface temperature, anomalies, and storm frequency. Predation is a significant ecological pressure, especially from invasive terrestrial predators like rats and cats introduced to breeding islands. Habitat disturbance and light pollution also impact nesting success and chick survival. The physiology of seabirds reflects high levels of adaptation to extreme environmental variability and energetic demands. Their salt-excreting nasal glands are vital for osmoregulation, allowing continuous consumption of seawater without dehydration. Thermoregulatory adaptations include dense plumage, subcutaneous fat layers, and behavioral modifications, such as huddling and sunbasking. In cold climate seabirds like penguins, these features allow survival in sub-zero temperatures. High metabolic rates are required for prolonged flight or diving activities. Aerobic capacity is well developed, with large, efficient hearts and lungs. Species that dive deeply have adaptations for oxygen storage, such as increased myoglobin concentration in muscles and the ability to shunt blood to vital organs. Seabirds also show physiological adaptations for long fasting periods during incubation and chick rearing. Adults can regulate their metabolism and utilize stored fat efficiently to endure long periods without food while guarding nests. Genetic studies of seabirds have uncovered important evolutionary and ecological insights. Phylogenetic analyses using mitochondrial and nuclear DNA sequences have revealed patterns of diversification and adaptive radiation among seabird families. Genomic studies identify adaptations linked to diving behavior, thermoregulation, and navigation. For instance, genes associated with visual acuity, olfactory receptors, and salt regulation are under strong selection in many seabird lineages. Population genetics reveals significant genetic structuring due to natal phylopatry and island-based breeding. These patterns are crucial for identifying conservation units and managing genetic diversity. Hybridization, although rare, has been observed in some gull and albatross species, sometimes leading to cryptic species complexes. Epigenetic and transcriptomic studies are beginning to shed light on how seabirds respond at the molecular level to environmental stresses such as food scarcity, pollution, and climate change. Flight in seabirds varies from extreme specialization to complete absence. Species like albatrosses exhibit unmatched flight efficiency, employing dynamic soaring techniques to travel thousands of kilometers with minimal energy use. Their large wingspans and locking shoulder joints reduce the muscular effort required for sustained gliding. Terns and gulls utilize thermal and slope soaring for both migratory and local movement. Their broad wings enable precise maneuvering and hovering, often essential for capturing agile prey. Conversely, pursuit diving birds like puffins and murres have short, narrow wings adapted for underwater propulsion. These species sacrifice aerial efficiency for agility below the surface. Penguins represent a complete evolutionary departure from aerial flight. Their flipper-like wings are perfectly adapted for aquatic movement, allowing them to fly through water with remarkable speed and agility. Seabirds often undertake monumental migrations. The Arctic tern, for instance, travels from pole to pole annually, covering over 70,000 kilometers. Such endurance requires exceptional navigational ability and energy management, supported by specialized physiological and morphological traits. Seabirds exemplify some of the most extraordinary adaptations in the avian world. Their morphological, behavioral, physiological, and genetic traits reflect an evolutionary trajectory shaped by the demands of marine life. As global biodiversity faces unprecedented threats, Seabirds offer both a lens into ecological change and a priority for conservation efforts. Protecting seabirds requires integrated strategies that address climate change, overfishing, pollution, and habitat degradation across both terrestrial and marine environments. Continued research and international cooperation are essential to preserving the ecological functions and evolutionary heritage embodied by seabirds. Woodpeckers and allies, the Piciformes order, particularly woodpeckers and their close relatives, is globally distributed, with species present on every continent, except Australia and Antarctica. Known for their distinctive drumming behavior and arboreal lifestyles, woodpeckers fulfill critical ecological functions, such as regulating insect populations and creating netting cavities for numerous other species. Their allies, including the cryptic wrynecks, diminutive piculets, and sap-extracting sapsuckers, contribute to the functional diversity of this group. These birds have co-evolved with forest ecosystems, shaping and being shaped by the dynamic interplay of trees, insects, and ecological niches. They are frequently used as indicator species for biodiversity and forest integrity, and their adaptations represent some of the most remarkable biomechanical innovations in avian evolution. Pileated woodpecker, downy woodpecker, hairy woodpecker, great spotted woodpecker, northern flicker, yellow-bellied sapsucker, red-headed woodpecker, black woodpecker, Eurasian wryneck, lesser spotted woodpecker, acorn woodpecker, white woodpecker, Antillean piculet, crimson-crested woodpecker. Woodpeckers and their allies display a suite of structural adaptations that support their arboreal and excavatory lifestyles. Their chisel-like bills are designed for pecking into wood, supported by a robust skull and shock-absorbing spongy bone that prevents brain damage during repetitive impacts. The hyoid bone apparatus, a distinctive skeletal feature, extends around the skull and anchors the elongated tongue, often barbed or sticky, used to extract insects from bark crevices. Their zygodactyl feet, 2 toes forward, 2 backward, enhance their ability to grip tree trunks, while stiff tail feathers act as props, stabilizing the body during vertical movement. Plumage is often cryptic, blending with the forest environment. Although many species exhibit bright head markings or contrasting patterns used in visual signaling, body size ranges from small piculets to large species, such as the pileated woodpecker, with most species demonstrating sexual monomorphism or subtle dimorphism. Behavior in this group is centered on foraging, nesting, and territory defense. One of the most defining behaviors is drumming, rapid pecking on resonant surfaces to communicate rather than to forage. Unlike songbirds, many woodpeckers use this non-vocal acoustic signaling to attract mates and deter rivals. Woodpeckers are primarily insectivorous, with many species specializing in wood-boring beetle larvae, ants, or termites. Sapsuckers create characteristic rows of sap wells in trees, returning to feed on the sap and the insects it attracts. Breeding involves cavity excavation, typically in dead or decaying trees. These nesting holes are often reused or adopted by secondary cavity nesters, such as owls, nuthatches, and small mammals. Some species, like the acorn woodpecker, display cooperative breeding and food caching behaviors, forming complex social groups. Territoriality is maintained year-round in many species, with both sexes defending feeding and nesting sites. While most woodpeckers are sedentary, some, such as the yellow-bellied sapsucker, and Eurasian wryneck are migratory. Ecologically, woodpeckers are keystone species, profoundly influencing forest ecosystems. Through their excavation behavior, they create microhabitats for numerous organisms. Their foraging regulates populations of tree-boring insects, reducing tree mortality and promoting forest health. Woodpeckers also influence plant community dynamics by spreading fungal spores and disturbing bark, aiding in decomposition and nutrient cycling. The cavities they leave behind serve as critical nesting and roosting sites for a broad array of vertebrates and invertebrates, contributing to overall forest biodiversity. These birds are highly sensitive to habitat changes. Loss of deadwood, selective logging, and fragmentation impact their nesting and foraging opportunities, making them valuable indicators of ecological integrity and forest succession stages. Woodpeckers possess highly adapted physiological systems for endurance, precision, and impact resistance. Their cranial and muscular anatomy is specialized for repetitive pecking. A combination of shock-absorbing bones, minimal cerebrospinal fluid, and a tightly packed neural structures protect the brain from injury. Their long, extendable tongues are supported by muscular and skeletal modifications that provide reach and control. Metabolically, woodpeckers maintain high aerobic efficiency to support the muscular demands of pecking and climbing. Temperature regulation is aided by dense plumage and behavioral adaptations, such as sun basking or nest insulation. Most species are well adapted to temperate climates, though tropical species exhibit lower energetic needs and often rely more on fruit or sap. Their vision and hearing are finely tuned to detect prey within wood or beneath bark. Specialized feathers cover the nostrils and eyes to prevent the ingress of debris during drilling. Genomic research has uncovered several genetic adaptations unique to woodpeckers. Key genes associated with skull and beak reinforcement, neuromuscular control, and keratin synthesis have evolved under strong selective pressure. Recent molecular phylogenetic analyses have clarified evolutionary relationships within pisiforms, revealing diversification patterns shaped by biogeographic isolation and ecological specialization. Mitochondrial DNA and nuclear gene sequences confirm deep splits between woodpeckers, piculates, and wrynecks. Adaptive changes have been identified in genes linked to cranial osteogenesis, muscle contractility, and oxidative stress tolerance, reflecting their high-impact pecking behavior. Moreover, epigenetic research suggests that environmental conditions influence gene expression during development, affecting traits like beak strength and nesting behavior. Flight in woodpeckers and their allies is adapted more for short bursts and maneuverability than for sustained long-distance travel. Most species exhibit undulating flight, characterized by a rhythmic alternation of wing beats and glides, which conserves energy and supports rapid movement between trees. While not built for soaring, their broad, rounded wings offer excellent control in dense forest environments. Migratory species, such as the Eurasian wryneck and yellow-bellied sapsucker, demonstrate stronger, more sustained flight ability suited to long-distance travel. Takeoff is rapid and vertical, often from tree trunks. Their flight adaptations complement their arboreal foraging strategies, enabling quick escape from predators and efficient movement across foraging territories. Woodpeckers and their allies are integral components of forest ecosystems worldwide. Their remarkable anatomical and behavioral adaptations allow them to exploit arboreal niches unavailable to most other birds. As primary cavity nesters and insect regulators, they facilitate biodiversity and forest health, earning them the title of ecosystem engineers. Understanding their morphological, physiological, and genetic adaptations provides deeper insight into evolutionary innovation. At the same time, their sensitivity to habitat alteration makes them valuable bioindicators. Conservation of woodpecker species and the forest structures they depend on is essential for maintaining ecosystem functionality and biodiversity in the world's forests. Shorebirds constitute a diverse group of birds, frequently observed along shorelines, beaches, mudflats, and wetlands. This group includes sandpipers, plovers, avocets, godwits, and stilts. Types of shorebirds: sandpipers, e.g. least sandpiper, spotted sandpiper; plovers, e.g. snowy plover, killdeer; avocets and stilts, e.g. American avocet, black-necked stilt; godwits, e.g. bar-tailed godwit, marbled godwit. Shorebirds exhibit specific morphological adaptations suited to their shoreline habitats. They generally have slender bodies with relatively long legs, adapted for wading in shallow waters and soft mudflats. Their beaks vary significantly in length, shape, and flexibility, reflecting their specialized feeding techniques. Long, slender beaks in sandpipers for probing deep mud, short beaks in plovers for surface picking, and upturned bills in avocets for skimming water surfaces. Plumage tends to be cryptic, providing camouflage against predators in their open habitats. Shorebirds showcase remarkable foraging techniques, adapted specifically to their varied prey sources and environments. Sandpipers actively probe mud and sand for invertebrates, while plovers employ visual hunting methods, running short distances to capture prey. Many shorebird species exhibit synchronized flock behaviors, creating spectacular aerial displays that deter predators. Breeding behaviors involve complex courtship displays and territorial defense. Many shorebirds are migratory, undertaking impressive long-distance migrations involving thousands of kilometers. Shorebirds significantly influence shoreline and wetland ecosystems. They regulate populations of invertebrates, including insects, mollusks, crustaceans, and worms, contributing to balanced ecosystem functioning. Shorebirds play roles as indicators of wetland health, responding sensitively to changes in habitat quality and climate conditions. Their migratory behavior contributes to nutrient cycling across broad geographic ranges, linking distant ecosystems. Shorebirds exhibit highly efficient digestive systems, enabling rapid energy intake and processing during brief stopovers on migratory routes. Advanced metabolic and cardiovascular adaptations facilitate long-distance migration, including enhanced muscle efficiency and substantial fat storage capabilities. Thermoregulation adaptations enable survival in varying environmental conditions, ranging from Arctic breeding grounds to tropical wintering sites. Genetic and molecular research has significantly clarified the evolutionary relationships and adaptive strategies of shorebirds. DNA sequencing techniques have refined taxonomic classifications and revealed genetic structures underlying migratory behaviors and physiological adaptations. Molecular markers are instrumental in tracking migratory patterns, identifying breeding populations, and assessing genetic diversity, crucial for effective conservation planning. Genetic research also highlights adaptive responses to environmental pressures, such as climate change and habitat loss. Shorebirds are renowned for their remarkable flight capabilities, exemplified by some of the most extensive and arduous migrations in the avian world. Wing morphology among shorebirds. typically involves pointed, elongated wings optimized for endurance flight. Species like godwits exhibit extraordinary non-stop migratory flights, covering thousands of kilometers across oceans. Flight agility varies by species, with smaller shorebirds showing rapid, agile flight ideal for evading predators, while larger species demonstrate sustained, powerful flight adapted for extensive journeys. Shorebirds embody exceptional adaptation to coastal and wetland habitats, showcasing specialized morphological, behavioral, ecological, physiological, genetic, and flight characteristics. Their role as indicators of environmental health underscores the importance of targeted conservation efforts, crucial for preserving these ecologically significant avian populations and their habitats. Game birds. Game birds constitute a group of bird species commonly hunted for sport, food, or both. This category includes birds such as quails, pheasants, turkeys, grouse, and partridges. Quails, e.g., northern bobwhite, California quail. Pheasants, e.g., ring-necked pheasant, golden pheasant. Turkeys, e.g., wild turkey, ocellated turkey. Grouse, e.g., ruffed grouse, sage grouse. Partridges, e.g., grey partridge, chukar. Game birds exhibit distinct morphological traits suited to terrestrial living. Generally medium to large-bodied, they possess strong legs, adapted for walking and running through dense vegetation. Their short, rounded wings facilitate quick bursts of flight, ideal for escaping predators. Plumage coloration often provides camouflage, blending with their environments, particularly significant for ground-nesting species. Many males exhibit vibrant plumage and distinct features, such as wattles and combs employed in mating displays. Game birds display a variety of adaptations for survival and reproduction. Many species exhibit ground-dwelling behaviors, foraging primarily by scratching and pecking for seeds, insects, and vegetation. Courtship behaviors among game birds can be elaborate, including vocalizations, visual displays, and ritualistic dances. Parental care varies, with females typically responsible for incubating eggs and raising young, often utilizing cryptic behaviors to protect nests from predators. Game birds play essential roles within their habitats, influencing vegetation dynamics, seed dispersal, and insect population control. Their grazing and foraging behaviors can significantly impact plant community composition and structure. By consuming various insects, they help maintain ecological balance and agricultural productivity. Game birds also serve as important prey items for various predators, integrating them firmly into the food web. Game birds have robust digestive systems, specialized for processing plant material and seeds, featuring muscular gizzards to mechanically break down food. Their cardiovascular and muscular systems are adapted for short bursts of intense physical activity, such as escaping predators by quick flight. Adaptations in thermoregulation ensure survival across diverse climates, with dense plumage providing insulation against varying temperatures. Genetic research has advanced the understanding of evolutionary relationships, population dynamics, and adaptation strategies in game birds. DNA analyses have clarified taxonomic distinctions and informed conservation strategies, particularly important for threatened species such as certain grouse and quail. Molecular markers have enabled tracking of genetic diversity, essential for breeding programs, population management, and conservation planning. Genetic studies also identify adaptive traits critical to survival in diverse habitats. Flight capability in game birds is generally characterized by short bursts of rapid flight rather than prolonged endurance flying. Their wings are typically short, rounded, and powerful, designed for quick takeoffs and agile low-level maneuvering through dense vegetation. Turkeys and grouse, for instance, exhibit strong flight muscles suited for swift, explosive flights necessary for evading predators. However, their flight capabilities are limited in terms of sustained distance, reflecting their adaptation to predominantly terrestrial lifestyles. Game birds demonstrate a range of specialized adaptations through their morphological, behavioral, ecological, physiological, genetic, and flight features. Their ecological importance, cultural significance, and role in hunting practices highlight the importance of sustainable management and conservation efforts to maintain these vital avian populations and their habitats. Flightless birds are a unique group of birds characterized primarily by their inability to fly. This distinctive category includes ostriches, emus, kiwis, cassowaries, and penguins. Types of flightless birds: ostriches, Struthiocamelus, emus, Dromaeus novae hollandiae. Kiwis, Apteryx species, cassowaries, Casuarius species. Penguins, e.g. emperor penguin, king penguin, gentoo penguin. Flightless birds exhibit highly specialized morphological adaptation, reflecting their terrestrial or aquatic lifestyles. Generally characterized by robust bodies, reduced or absent flight muscles, and sturdy legs for running or swimming, their wings are greatly diminished or repurposed. For example, penguins use their wings as flippers for swimming. Ostriches and emus possess long, muscular legs adapted for swift running. Kiwis feature reduced wings and highly developed olfactory senses, while cassowaries have strong, clawed feet, suitable for dense rainforest navigation. Behaviorally, flightless birds have adapted distinctive survival and reproductive strategies. Ostriches and emus display social behaviors such as flocking and territoriality, with communal nesting strategies observed in some populations. Kiwis and cassowaries are predominantly solitary and exhibit secretive behaviors to evade predators. Penguins demonstrate highly social behaviors, forming large colonies for breeding and cooperative chick rearing, exhibiting complex vocal and visual communication behaviors. Ecologically, flightless birds fulfill diverse roles in their respective habitats. Ostriches and emus function primarily as grazers and browsers, significantly influencing plant community structures in savanna and grassland ecosystems. Kiwis and cassowaries serve as critical seed dispersers, contributing substantially to forest regeneration and biodiversity in their habitats. Penguins occupy essential ecological niches in marine ecosystems, primarily feeding on fish and krill, influencing marine food web dynamics. Physiological adaptations among flightless birds align closely with their habitat demands. Ostriches and emus possess highly efficient respiratory and cardiovascular systems, facilitating sustained, high-speed terrestrial movement. Kiwis exhibit specialized sensory adaptations, including highly developed olfactory systems adapted for nocturnal foraging. Penguins possess advanced thermoregulatory mechanisms, such as dense feathering and specialized circulatory adaptations, enabling survival in extremely cold marine environments. Genetic and molecular studies have significantly advanced understanding of evolutionary relationships among flightless birds, elucidating their divergence from flighted ancestors. DNA sequencing has clarified phylogenetic relationships and evolutionary timelines, notably revealing convergent evolutionary processes leading to flightlessness across unrelated bird lineages. Molecular markers have enhanced conservation efforts by enabling precise population management, particularly vital for critically endangered species such as kiwis and cassowaries. Flightless birds, by definition, exhibit minimal or no flight capability, having evolved alternative adaptations to replace flight. Ostriches and emus demonstrate extraordinary terrestrial speed and endurance, compensating effectively for the loss of flight. Penguins have transformed wings into highly effective flippers for aquatic propulsion, achieving exceptional swimming capabilities. The loss of flight capability is primarily due to evolutionary trade-offs, favoring terrestrial or aquatic specialization, reduced predation pressures, and energy conservation. Flightless birds illustrate remarkable evolutionary adaptation through unique morphological, behavioral, ecological, physiological, genetic, and flight characteristics. Understanding and protecting these species is critical due to their specialized roles in their ecosystems and the distinctive evolutionary paths they exemplify. Conservation efforts remain crucial for ensuring their continued survival amidst rapidly changing global environmental conditions. Hummingbirds, family Trochilidae, represent a remarkable group of avian species known for their distinctive morphology, unparalleled flight capabilities, and unique ecological roles. This family comprises approximately 361 species, distributed primarily throughout the Americas, from southern Alaska to Tierra del Fuego. Characterized by their vibrant plumage and extraordinary agility in flight, hummingbirds play critical roles in pollination and serve as vital indicators of ecosystem health. Hummingbird species: ruby-throated hummingbird, calliope hummingbird, Anna's hummingbird, bee hummingbird, rufous hummingbird, sword-billed hummingbird, broad-tailed hummingbird, black-chinned hummingbird, Allen's hummingbird, and violet-crowned hummingbird. Hummingbirds exhibit specialized morphologies adapted specifically for nectar feeding and rapid flight. Their body size ranges significantly, with the bee hummingbird as the smallest bird in existence, measuring approximately 5.5 centimeters and weighing around 2 grams. Conversely, larger species, like the giant hummingbird, measure approximately 20 centimeters. Hummingbirds' beak are highly specialized for nectar extraction, varying widely from straight to curved, facilitating feeding from specific flower shapes. Wings are elongated, tapered, and articulated to rotate at the shoulder, enabling hovering, backward flight and maneuverability. Hummingbirds play essential roles in ecosystem through their relationships with plants and predators. Hummingbirds possess extraordinary physiological adaptations to support their energetic lifestyle. They have extremely high metabolic rates, highest among vertebrates, requiring constant feeding to maintain energy levels. Their advanced respiratory systems, supporting rapid oxygen transfer, required for sustained high-energy flight. Genomes analyzers have identified genetic adaptations linked to high-altitude respiration, rapid metabolism, and unique flight muscle physiology. DNA sequencing reveals evolutionary relationships, aiding species differentiation and conservation management. Distinct gene expression profiles, particularly in muscle and heart tissue, support their energetically demanding lifestyle. Molecular phylogenetics illustrate rapid diversification, driven by ecological niches and geographic isolation, highlighting evolutionary radiation events. Hummingbird flight represents one of the most extraordinary feats of vertebrate locomotion, distinguished by their unparalleled maneuverability and hovering ability. Hummingbirds are exceptional avian species, uniquely adapted to exploit floral resources and occupy ecological niches inaccessible to many other birds. Their remarkable morphology, advanced flight capabilities, specialized physiological adaptations, intricate behaviors, and genetic innovations underline their evolutionary success. The continued study of hummingbirds not only enriches our understanding of biological evolution and ecological dynamics, but also provides valuable insights into conservation strategies critical for preserving biodiversity amidst global environmental change.